Hello everyone, Lola Skeleton Wizard here, and sorry for the kind of dramatic lighting. I have my TV on as my actual lighting, and today I thought it would add to the effect of the kind of creepiness. I was taking a look through my very old videos, and I found one that was the first time I ever, officially revealed the first new art style. And for those who don't know, I've had like a bunch of art styles over the course of this channel. I had the first one, which was like this anime looking one. I had the one that stuck with me for years and years and years, and then all of a sudden I developed this newer one, and it's just kind of stuck with me. And now I have three different ones that I switch between, which is my primary, which is the one that has been with me forever and ever and ever. My secondary, which is the one I use for D&D, and my series one, which is for Trinity. Well, I was scrolling on my phone down through my old videos, and I found the first video that my now primary art style was ever shown in. And it was with the Five Nights at Freddy's characters, which was funny because they were like some of the first characters I animated besides Lola and the Undertale characters. For context, I'll actually show you an animation that I animated in the original art style that I used to have. This is the original intro for the FNAF series. I don't remember. I think I was animating in 12 frames per second, but at the same time, like, you can see how choppy this is. This is the art style.
Sorry to say, but you've been duped.
And of course, this is also the first time that I've ever really voice acted for any of the animations, but yeah. So that was the original art style that had run with my channel forever and ever and ever and ages and ever. And then about 4 years ago, I released this video. That one. My favorites in this drawing in the new art style are Laura and Mary. So that was released 4 years ago, and I had this random idea that I would compare how I thought the art style was going to turn out then to how the art style turned out now. And how am I going to do that? Well, I have one of my sketchbooks here, one of my many, many, many sketchbooks, and I'm going to draw how they looked in this video, best I can, of course, and then I'm going to draw how I draw them now. What's funny about this is I have been known to use or to replicate my older art styles in some of my recent animated videos just because it's a nice nod to the past. But usually these, like the new version of the old art style, turns out looking a little bit, well, more polished than the original. So I'm going to do my best to keep to the original source material and then draw the new version after. So yeah, I haven't watched this since uploading it 4 years ago. I don't think I have, at least. Not that I remember watching it. But I guess here we go. Here goes nothing. Also, this is also an exchange for not uploading for the past 2 weeks. I'm so sorry. I had a lot get in the way of uploading, a lot get in the way of recording. But it's okay. We're back on track, or hopefully, fingers crossed. I'm doing the best I can. Anyways, let's get into this. So Mary is the first one, and like I'm just gonna point out the parts that aren't like didn't actually make it. Those eyelashes there, they didn't make it, and of course it's a very weird shape on the head. As I'm sitting here drawing or trying to draw like what I was drawing in this video, it's showing me that like I was trying to do what I did with my secondary art style and the series art style a whole lot later, which was make the proportions more kind of realistic. In a sense, thicker necks, more slanted shoulders, which the secondary and the series art style both have. The other thing that I like to mention when I'm mimicking the older art style is the fact that the original new art style had these C-shaped eyes. Like, it was always the same C shape, whereas now I kind of branch off of that and I do like the kind of anime looking eyes and the kind of not anime looking eyes, as well as rounded, but I never go back to that C, because that C it always creeped me out. Again, another thing that I do in this series now is the eyebrows being bigger and more just, you know, more just a straight line and up than the little curves I used to do. To sum it up, this whole thing is very, very difficult to do because these were mistakes that I worked hard to correct in or as I developed the newer version of the art style. So there's the original. As you can see, I was struggling with the proportions on the face. That actually looks half decent, but at the same time, it does look a lot like that. There is no soul behind the eyes of the original Mary. Like the original redraw of Mary, especially since the original drawing that I'm showing there, like in the original art style, doesn't even have cheeks, like the rosy cheeks. I mean. Okay, come on. Just look at that for comparison. Like, that's how I would draw her now, and that's how I'm replicating the drawing there. Like, it's so different. Now, time for probably one of the easiest to mimic. This one! I have redrawn that particular version many, many times because that original version was technically the original version. Though one of them is, of course, the more original version, the one in the OG art style. This one is not that hard to mimic because her eyes are closed, so I don't have to try and mimic the eyes. Now, the flat eye is huh. I will also admit I used to be very, I think, afraid. I think is the best word to describe how I felt about drawing Balora's open eyes, and I think that's why she ended up with her eyes closed all the time, and why I didn't draw her eyes open here, which I don't understand. It's not that hard anymore. The difference in expression can be seen here, which is also because this was the first time that her change of character was kind of seen, and basically this was when she was becoming less freak out, sad and more nervous instead of, yeah. And it looks like I tried to do like triangle bangs, but it didn't work out very well, I guess. I call them triangle bangs, they're not really triangle bangs. And again with that neck, that thick, thick neck. Thick, thick neck. Drawing mimic compared to the source material. I am going to erase those original eyebrows, even though I didn't erase any of the sketch for the other one, just because that just did not look right.
None of this looks right, but that's c'est la vie.
The other thing is, I was very, like, in the original new, like, in the original new version of the art style, in the original art style, and most of my art styles at the start, it was a lot of symmetry. Everything had to be perfectly symmetrical. Now I'm not so worried about that. Because if you look at a human face, it's not symmetrical either. So I'm going to draw this pose, yes, facing forward, but slightly different, because this is how I draw now. Also, something I didn't realize, which was in the, like, original version, but, like, one of these versions, because Laura went through a lot of changes, is her hairstyle was slightly different, which I noticed that, but she didn't have lips. Now I draw her with lipstick / lips, but for some reason I used to not, and I don't know where it came in, what happened, why I decided to eventually do it. I think it just ended up looking better, I guess. I'm not even sure. Mimic, actually how I draw them now, source material. I now see why I was so afraid to draw them with the open eyes. Why did I do that? I don't understand. What I'm not understanding is why Mary had closer to the current eyes with that thinner pupil sclera bit, but all of a sudden Proto comes out of the nowhere with these giant anime supposed to be eyes. Like she looks like she's supposed to be an anime character and it just didn't work out right. Now, if I remember correctly, there was like a refining the art style video later on, but right now I'm focusing on this because this is concerning. Also, I just noticed that the original like drawing for Proto doesn't have any clown features at all, and then it looks like I'm trying to do a clown nose on the second version, but then I messed up and didn't. And there's no red cheeks at all. And of course it has the original eye patch, which isn't there anymore, but I'm not touching that because that was an actual original design thing. It's the clown part. Where did it go? If there was ever an angle it was looking down. Why am I making her look down the opposite way to the drawing? I have no clue. I think it's just because it's easier for me to draw that way, but I'm going to stay close to the source material. This looks awful. But for science, I will go on. I'm gonna look back in the sketchbook one day and just be like,
Why?
I never want to do this again. Thanks. I hate it. Thank God Proto got some design changes, and thank God my art style was refined. I imagine, like, if I submitted a portfolio with the art style looking like that, and just everyone, like, looking at my portfolio at the art college and just being like, what the hell is this girl thinking? I know why I hated this version of the art style, because it was basically same face syndrome. Everyone had the same shape of face, and now I'm less scared to make them a little rounder. Plus, those eyes are just soulless. It's not my greatest work, but it's, like, way better than the original. Of course, there are some things that I would change with this, because this is really close. It's just there's some things that are just not quite right. But compared to this and that, anything is an improvement. I haven't even actually gotten to the official reference yet, and I'm looking at this, and it's just a big no. No. What was I thinking? This is the only one in the whole video that I drew, like, on its own, and then I drew the other one after. But what was I thinking here? Like, what is this? I don't know if I can physically make myself mess up that bad. Like, look at it. And I know you're gonna say, like, you shouldn't criticize yourself. You were, like, I would have been, 14, 15 years old. But I'm criticizing myself because that is a no. I don't want to finish this. This is horrifying. Like, this is the stuff of nightmares, people. Why does he have a tongue? His chin kind of reminds me of, like, if I tried to draw, like, a Giga Chad. It looks like I'm trying to draw, like, a really squared off chin, and I couldn't replicate that in the new one, I'm sorry. But, like, it's really funny to me that his chin looks so friggin' square. It's weird. Nope. 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 Absolutely not. I dead serious do not know what happened here. What was I thinking? What was I on? What was I inspired by? I will never know. Because, like, this can't just come out of my brain. There's no way that this just came out of my brain. Especially with the fact that the facial shapes of all my Fox characters later on basically just went back to the original with a few little alterations. Like, who hurt you? I have this one sketchbook that most of the art in it is the original art style, and then you can look on the back of some of the pages and you see the newer art style, like my primary one now. And the only thing that is really that different is some of the body proportions are off, as well as the eyes are the big C eyes. Nothing in that sketchbook was anything like this. Nothing was that horrifying. I must have made such a quick turnaround when I, like, went back and saw that piece and was just like, nope. Especially seeing how this was May 2020 or 2019, not 2020, 2019, which was the, like, spring before my first year of high school. And when you go to my first year of high school, the art style is very much refined from that. It's not even the big C eyes by that. Actually, okay, it is some big C eyes by that point, but it still looks better than that, and it still looks better than the first, like, the big sea eyes. I don't know what happened, and I can show you a video that has the better looking version of that. What is that? I do not care what you have to say. This is infinitely better than whatever the hell that was. It's like no wonder the title of this is my favorites of the drawing are Ballora and Mary, because they are the only ones who don't have those god awful eyes. God, refined version. Welcome to Labyrinth redraw with the new. What was I thinking? It really wasn't that fast? the turnaround wasn't, like, immediate. I redrew an old drawing called Welcome to the Labyrinth in that horrifying art style. It's the exact same. Hold on. Tell me that sketch slash pose slash unfinished drawing is not the exact same pose as the other one. It's the exact same. Okay, I found the video. It was a very, very slight change, and the eyes still aren't right. This is the very, very slight change. That's still not right. That's not right. What happened? I will admit it's better than before. But where is the video where there's the turnaround? Where is it? I found it. The first video ever posted in the newer art style was a drawing of Fennec. And it's the only one, or the first one, that has the proper eyes. Or close to proper eyes. Sorry, it's dark. It hasn't, the video is still loading. Yeah, this is the first drawing that has even close to proper eyes. They're still really messed up, but they're at least close to proper. See? They're close. They're not whatever the hell that horrifying mess was. Now I'm looking. The first official drawing that I, like, got the closest, like, with the sea eyes, was this old drawing here. This is the traditional version because I drew over it, but see, there's the sea eye, and there's all the original baby dolls. I gotta, like, look at that. Look at that change. Now, not to mention the outfit change with the mini arenas, but the fact that the new art style started out that horrifying and then got refined, and, like, I didn't even make a video addressing the actual refinement. I made a video addressing the slight change, and then just suddenly I was drawing in the better art style, which I am very happy about it, but I don't understand why it didn't end up being a video. And I mean, for a while I still kept that weird fox nose thing and the weird facial shape, but eventually that got fixed. So yes, this is like the unrefined art style, but that's the closest version to the current version of the primary art style that we got. That was, of course, the original or the original primary, and then that was the, like, OG first drawings ever art style. And what's even funnier to me is the original art style, the Mimic original art style, still looks better than whatever I was trying with the in-between art style that I'm going to call it. And that's the 3-year anniversary that's showing me that. So what have we learned from this video, you might be asking? Simple. Art takes time. Art takes practice. Finding your style takes time, takes practice, and a lot of horrifying steps along the way. Though you may start out like this, you will eventually end up like this. And this, and of course this. It takes a whole lot of effort. But with that time, and with that effort, you will make amazing things, and you will do amazing things. And things will look way better, and you can look back and laugh at your old self. Anyways, I'm Little Skeleton Wizard. This was nuts. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out, my guys.